Hello, I am Nina Thomas, the Coordinator for Professional Learning and Cultural Responsiveness of Fairfax County Public Schools. FCPS is committed to demonstrating cultural competency and sensitivity when supporting students, families, and employees. The Cultural Responsiveness and Equity team is responsible for the professional development of all Fairfax County personnel to create a climate that fosters and sustains dynamic relationships between students, staff, and the community. Our goal is to model and promote equitable access and opportunity for every student's academic success. Some examples of our work include supporting FCPS leaders in broadening their lens for equitable leadership, the training of school-based and central office equity leads to foster a culturally responsive environment, and providing professional learning opportunities for school cohorts to deepen knowledge around cultural proficiency and equity. This equity cohort is a 4-day program. School staff members participate in extensive professional development, including hands-on activities, dialogue, reflection, and school planning, in order to develop their personal cultural proficiency, as well as share the guiding principles of cultural proficiency with others at their schools. I'm excited to show you an example of the learning that takes place in our school-based equity cohort.
What questions come to mind as you look at this picture, and what assumptions are you making? Have a conversation at your table really quick about what you're noticing.
I'm wondering, was this intentional? Did kids choose?
I think as a principal, I'm really excited to see so many participants, so many teachers who were willing to come. I really do see that the work of cultural proficiency is so important and also unique to our school system, in that we are really making efforts to understand all journeys. And I'm excited to see the influence that this particular cohort is going to have on my teachers and then into the building.
I think the biggest thing that helps us, by being together as a school is really just having these honest and open dialogues. These conversations that you have during the cohort aren't necessarily things that you're going to have eating lunch. They're not necessarily things that you're going to have after school. And so coming here as a staff, we're able to have these kind of conversations about how we're going to develop culture in our school and move towards cultural proficiency.
I feel like cultural proficiency has really lit a passion in me. It feels personal. I have found this wonderfully challenging in a good way, to stop and take a look at myself as a child. I think I was a student that was looked over because I seemed fine. But it's a wake-up call for me, because I have to think, if I was missed, who am I missing?
I realize that there's more that needs to be done in order to really address our different families coming from different backgrounds. It can be very challenging to have a school where there is 60 different nationalities represented in any year, and how do you actually address those needs?
And we haven't had training like this, and it's so needed to allow kids to flourish and allow students to succeed, because without that level of comfort, kids are not going to feel comfortable to grow and learn.
I know at my school we are diverse, and I think that this gives me even more tools to relate to my students and to be a better teacher to them.
Even if we think that we have our hearts or our minds in the right places, it gives us a different point of view. It makes us look at our students in such a different way, things that we don't know, things that we need to start discovering and looking into our students to make the everyday education in the county better for them.
And now I look at other people around me and I think, what is their story? How did they come here? What difficulties might they've had in their lives that I didn't, or how is my story different or similar for them? So now I feel like I have a better understanding of other people's stories and journeys.
I would say my biggest takeaway with the cohort is just being aware of my own thoughts and beliefs, and then also that safety piece of having other colleagues that you work with and knowing that you're all together and that they might feel a certain way, you might feel a certain way, but having those conversations.
Challenging your own thinking, I think, is what I've walked away with the most. Kind of examining my own thought processes and getting into that spiral. Okay, well, why did I think that? Or why was that my immediate reaction to that? And then how is that going to impact my students? That gut reaction I had to something, how will that impact how I teach or how I work with a student?
And I think it's just an amazing experience. Whether you feel you need it or not, you'll definitely learn something or get something out of it, and that could help you as an educator.